Wrestling has more than one royal family.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wrestling Crossroads. As always, I'm one happy dynamic duo, Twisted, alongside Brother Pyro.
What's up, y'all?
And after 2 very long naps for Brother Pyro and I, we are now coming at you for the recap. 4 in the morning was a little extra for me. What do you think?
It was Australia. I've done worse.
We all know you've done worse.
I watched New Japan. I'm sorry.
I ain't there yet, alright? So, to start us off, do you just want me to go through the kickoff show real quick?
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of dive into more things. So, on the kickoff show was the Women's Tag Team Championship. The Kabuki Warriors defended against Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. They tried to really keep Candice one-sided in this match, not really let Indy get the hot tag for a quick moment, and then when she did, it was
the place erupted.
But we also pointed out that no one else, not even her partner, was getting anything from the place, which unfortunately really sucked.
Australia is a very unique dynamic in terms of wrestling fans.
Yeah. Not much to say in this match. It was a typical, quick thrown together match. Unfortunately, retaining their titles, the Kabuki Warriors. They ended up picking up the win on LeRae while Indy Hartwell was on the outside. So nothing to decredit to the Australian superstar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a grade for that one.
I made it a B. It was a decent match overall.
Okay. All right. Do you want to take us into our starting?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So, kicking off the show, the Women's Elimination Chamber match. 6 women all vying for a shot at a title opportunity at the Showcase of the Immortals. Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi. I was getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the look you were giving me, like, come on.
If you weren't going to get it, I was going to give it to you.
Fantastic match. Starting off was Becky and Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany in at number 3 showcased a lot of proved hey, she was ready to be called up. She showed up. She really did have a great showing. She even picked up an elimination of her own by eliminating Naomi.
Yes.
There was a lot of great shine for all 6 women.
Yes, there was.
I really did enjoy this match thoroughly. Getting into the end, towards the end, it happened really quickly.
It did.
So for that, I will say, kind of meh on my part, because, you blink, you miss.
Yeah, you missed everything. You literally looked away for 30 seconds.
I didn't, right, and I
you were
missed,
wait, what?
Where did those last 2 falls happen?
Mm-hmm.
Quick roll-up, Liv eliminates Bianca, and then as she comes out of the pin, gets hit with the manhandle slam. 1, 2, 3, Becky Lynch is challenging for the Women's World title at WrestleMania. Like I said, overall, a decent match. Very minor things to complain about the match or the show itself, really.
Yeah.
My biggest quarrel in this match. 1, I think they could have given Tiffany a little bit more time.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Naomi could have gotten a little more time, considering she was the first elimination.
Yes.
And then I think they could have slowed down the pace at the end and told a little bit more of a story amongst those last 3 women.
I do agree.
Because the fact that it happened within, 30, 45 seconds, literally less than a minute, was not okay.
I see that, obviously the quick one between Bianca and Liv, but I do agree with you on the fact that they should have told a bit more of a story between Lynch and Liv. because
both
have reasons as to why they need to go after Ripley.
Like, Liv Morgan is on a Revenge on Rhea Ripley tour.
Yes.
And Becky is just like, look, you and I haven't done this dance before. Mm-hmm. We need to make this happen. And we're going to...
And her big thing right now is, I have to beat you to prove that I still have it.
Exactly.
Because, you know, she was so dominant before going off on maternity leave. And not saying that did anything to her dominance, but then she came back.
When she came back, the landscape of that women's division changed drastically. Mm-hmm. You had the call-up of a Rhea Ripley who absolutely dominated the women's roster.
Yes.
You had the Becky Lynch call-up who, again, excelled... Bianca Belair.
Yes.
Who excelled on the main roster. You had Liv Morgan finally being able to stand out on her own. Mm-hmm. Like, you had all these women coming up and, you know...
showing out.
That next generation starting to...
come in
and, like, all right, this is our time. Mm-hmm. So I think this is one of those, I want to make sure, you know...
I'm not lost in the back.
I don't want to be forgotten. Because, you know, she is getting up there in age. She is a mom. You know, there is a lot of outside factors.
She's also been in this a long time.
Exactly. So, like, there is a lot of outside factors that can play to the, you know, the decrease in her role.
Yeah.
For the company as they're trying to give these younger stars
a chance.
Their spotlight.
Yeah.
And I do like the story that they're going with her. It's just, I want to prove to myself and to my kid I can still do this. So,
say, you know, obviously we have to cover the women's championship match later on in this podcast.
We'll get there.
Say Rhea is the one to retain. Does Becky pick up the win at Mania? I'd say hell yes if it was Nia Jax regardless.
Oh, it'd 100% be Nia Jax finish off. Like, that's how you give the big payoff to that story, because, you know, that whole thing dates back, like, 5-6 years at this point. Mm-hmm. The I broke your face, ha 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 ha. Yeah, well, I've gone on to do a lot more better than you, and in their most recent encounter, Nia did pick up the win.
Yeah.
But you know Becky Lynch isn't done with Nia regardless. So if, you know, when we get there, obviously we do know the result, yes, and we'll get to that later. But winner dependent, I feel like winner dependent, it's a different story.
Okay, we'll circle back to that and talk about it a bit more when we get to that.
Nia, Becky would be the wise choice to go over at Mania, give her the Mania pop, being the face, and, you know, putting this whole thing to rest.
Okay.
However, if it ends up being Rhea, I can see a counter side to each argument, because Rhea has been on a roll as women's champion. She has really done a lot to elevate and bring importance to that newer women's title.
Yes.
And she has done a lot in terms of, you want to pay attention to the women's division as a whole. Not just because of her, but because of all these standouts. And, alright, now who pairs well with her? But I can also, and again, I can see that, you know, kind of being a passing of the torch from Becky to Rhea.
And Becky loses, yeah.
But I can also see Becky going over, you know, maybe them continuing something to, like, SummerSlam or whatever. Okay. And, you know, Becky being like, alright, I got the job done, I can still go.
Yeah.
And
I proved that to myself.
Exactly. That self-fulfillment story and payoff, I think, would be
really nice, especially everything she's done in her career.
Exactly. Like, at this point, I think she's done it all, with the exception of the inaugural Queen's Crown, and I don't think she's won Money in the Bank.
I don't think she's won Money in the Bank off the top of my head, no.
But she's won a Rumble, she's held the women's tag titles. She's held the NXT women's title, the Raw women's title, the SmackDown women's title.
Those at the same time. She's the second longest reigning SmackDown women's
She was
champion.
The first women's main event at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So, like, there is a lot of...
She also holds the most consecutive days as women's champion.
So I want to point out, like, hey, and Hall of Fame worthy career right now.
And now Elimination Chamber.
Hall of Fame worthy career right here, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
Like, does she need to beat Rhea? No. Would it?
I also think she's Hell in a Cell winner.
I believe so. But,
That's
like, that
another
is...
accolade.
Boom. Like, think
Yeah.
about everything Becky has done. So.
Yes, definitely Hall of Famer. I need your grade for this one.
A-.
All right.
Again, just because that ending
the little
happened
nitpicks,
so...
yeah. I get it.
So quickly, like, it was really hard to want to enjoy it as a whole.
Next match up, we have the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship. Judgment Day defends against Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Me and you were very excited to see the return of Mr. Pete Dunne, especially with Tyler Bate kind of having this new role with him to, show him this is the man you used to be. I don't know who you became when you teamed up with the Brawling Brutes, but it ain't who you actually are. This match told a very big story in Pete Dunne finally finding himself again. At least personally, I think. You got to see a lot of his joint manipulation, which is something he's very well known for. There wasn't any one-sided factor in this match. It was very even on both sides, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. And I really did enjoy that for the sake of just, I wanted to see a good match.
Mm-hmm. There was a tiny bit of outside interference on Dirty Dominic Mysterio's part, and the ref then ejected him from ringside. And we thought that, the streaming service that we use, Peacock, was kind of messing up a bit. No, it was revealed later on that the entire front 2 rows... Entire front 3 rows. Wasn't sure if it was 2 or 3.
We're giving him the finger. And they were like, we have to censor this. I was wondering because we lost visual, but we didn't lose audio.
No.
So I was like, what is going on? Oh. They could get in trouble.
Yes.
You saw a post right after it happened.
Yes, I have that.
I was like, please tell me you screenshot that, because oh my god, was that...
I did, and I want to give it's somebody I follow on Facebook. It's a wrestling group I follow on Facebook, so I want to give them their dues. It is Wrestling WWE Gaff MPEN WGM, and it says, Dom was unjustifully ejected and the screen blacked out of respect for a few seconds. So I thought that was hilarious.
Oh my god, no. You know what? Respect my guy, but no, it was the fans about ready to get us kicked off of TV.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. After the ejection happened, there was it never really went one-sided, even after the ejection of Dom. You saw Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne start to really pick up some momentum against the Judgment Day. There were a couple close calls in pins, not only on their side, but on Judgment Day's side. But ultimately picking up the win in the end. And still your tag team champions, Judgment Day. It also did seem at the very end that Finn may have injured his finger.
Well, it was revealed he broke his finger on the landing of that last coup de grace.
Yeah.
So speedy recovery.
Joint manipulation.
It probably didn't help, and what probably led to the inevitable
Yeah, the inevitable just...
Because you saw him at the end of the match trying to, pop it back in place, and I wasn't sure what was going on.
Yeah, especially because, you saw the blood as well, and you don't know if that's, just...
I thought he, just nicked himself.
Yeah. You don't know if it's a nick, you don't know if the injury is actually because of the nick, if it's fractured, if it's 100% broken. They said that, it's revealed as of right now that he did injure himself, but the extent of the injury isn't fully out there yet.
But still, so injuries not necessarily the greatest. I mean, hopefully it's minor so he can stay...
active,
because, if that's broken, that's going to need some time to heal.
And then there goes Finn no longer being relevant again.
And it took us this long to get him back to the land of relevancy.
That's sad. Especially with his great...
So what do you feel is next for Dunne and Bate?
I say... personally, I'd like to see them challenge again. I'd like to see maybe going towards Mania another tournament style that they kind of did leading up to this, where they throw tag teams at each other, but I want to see more tag teams from opposite brands because it really doesn't matter what brand you're on anymore.
Well, when the titles are unified, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to see, opposite ones going from different brands to face each other in a full-on tournament. I want to see guys from SmackDown taking on Raw. And then I want to see night 1, a culmination of the tournament for Mania, and night 2, them defending their titles against the person who won on night 1.
Okay, I wouldn't mind
and
that.
I want it to be Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. I want them to have that moment there.
See, I'd either do a tournament or night 1. I do, tag team invitational, like a battle
royal, yeah,
type thing.
I mean, they could do either or. I love the tournament styles.
Oh no, I absolutely love the tournament style. I think it's a lot more competitive. I think it's a lot more fun. Mm-hmm. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Eventually, I would
you took my line from me.
I did. But what I really want to see is eventually them to, go off on their own because they are both strong individual competitors as well. And eventually, find themselves in
singles competition.
Singles success. Because I'm not going to lie, and I know I brought this up on the pre-show, I brought it up beforehand. They broke up the Brawling Brutes. They broke up that faction.
Yes.
Ridge Holland's back in NXT.
He needs the work.
He does. But they really said, Pete Dunne, you're no longer in a tag team, just to put him right back in a tag team.
And I do think that is obviously ridiculous.
I'm not okay with that. I mean, I know Sheamus has his own stuff going on outside of the company. We haven't seen him in forever. Please come back to us, sir.
Yeah.
Please come back to us, sir.
Please come back and
come back to the red brand. Dethrone Gunther, because that is the one accolade in your Hall of Fame worthy career that you don't have, and it is upsetting because you have been King of the Ring, Money in the Bank winner, Royal Rumble winner. You have won just about every championship at least twice. IC title is the one thing you're missing. Make it happen.
Please.
Give him the title of Grand Slam champion
so that
before he retires and goes into the Hall of Fame, because undoubtedly he is going into the Hall of Fame with everything he has done inside and outside of that ring for this damn company.
I agree. I'd like to know your grade on this one.
What did I give this? I gave it an A.
Hey, alright.
It was a fantastic match. You really got this.
There wasn't a lot of outside interference.
It wasn't a lot of outside interference. The one time it happened, it got caught and was taken care of right away. Again, you got to see 4 phenomenal competitors do what they do best and compete at such a high level.
I do agree. I entirely agree.
That it's really hard to find anything to really complain about in this match.
Agreed.
If anything at all, I think. But I genuinely do feel like, hey, I would love to see this rematch down the line, but also at the same time, this isn't...
want them to be in singles.
Well, no, I was going to say, this isn't one of those, you couldn't do it without help.
Yes.
So I want a rematch for that factor alone.
No, honestly, I do want to see this match down the line. Like I said, do tournament style. Even do the Battle Royal the night before.
Do something to give us...
this match again, or at least a match for the titles at Mania. Something.
Because, there are so many worthy tag teams on this roster right now. With Dunn and Bate, with...
Street Profits. Alpha Academy,
the Creeds, DIY. Truth, let me know what I'm supposed to call them.
DIXY. Z.
Elemental P, whatever.
The alphabet.
Yes. Who else? If we can get a healthy Eric, the Viking Raiders, immediately back in contention, I wouldn't... the Good Brothers, granted, yes, they just went to NXT.
Yeah,
but
I
still,
think to kind of help elevate that and everything.
Yeah.
You could
do a couple call-ups, because I think Gallus would be good for a call-up.
I was going to say one. The Family.
You were literally reading my mind. I was just about to say them.
You could call them up for the tournament, whatever.
But, give us...
They
like
have
I said,
so
there's...
much.
I wouldn't mind seeing, Pretty Dudley do something again, because it's been a while.
Yes, but that's because of injury here.
Exactly,
and there,
and if a healthy Pretty Dudley team is actually really entertaining to watch.
Aside from Stand and Deliver.
Yes, boy!
Oh, my lord. I look at the card for Mania this year.
We know 4 matches.
Besides the 4 matches that we know. We look at the card for Mania, at least as of this year. We're going to Mania. I know we're getting a little off track, but this is our road to WrestleMania.
This is real life,
the last scoop to it. So, you have the 4 main titles.
All on the line.
All on the line. You already know Gunther's defending his.
I hope so.
There's no reason not to.
See, okay, so then going into that assumption.
Yes.
Who challenges?
Sheamus. Battle Royal, last person to come out to take that spot is Sheamus. Sheamus wins the whole thing. They go to WrestleMania. That's my prediction. They do what they just did with Raquel for the Elimination Chamber match.
Okay.
He comes back from injury. Boom. Done.
Sorry, going back into the tag title picture thing. You said tournament, I said Battle Royal. You know what else I would really love to see? Going into Kofi Mania.
Yes.
New Day to get
the gauntlet.
The tag team gauntlet. Because that led to some fantastic showcases.
I loved that the Usos gave up their spot.
The fact that they were like,
forfeited.
yo, we're forfeiting our match because of the respect we have for you. We out. Granted, they got punished with a tag title match at Mania, but whatever. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
No, I wouldn't mind either. But going back to what I was saying, you're good. You got the IC title on the line. You know that they're setting up another match between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul for the U.S. Championship. It could even be a triple threat, and we'll explain that later as to why.
Give that one to me one-on-one.
Yeah. And then you have the tag titles. Every single title is defended. There's not a single title now that wouldn't be defended at Mania.
With the exception of, I think, the women's tag title, but then again,
throw it on the kickoff show. It's a hot potato title anyway. You say it all the time.
It hasn't been relevant since the pandemic, and that's really sad. Because the last 2 teams to make it relevant were the Kabuki Warriors, Sasha and Bayley.
Yep.
Everything outside of that has been just kind of a toss-up. They've existed to exist, but that's about it. But think about what's happened to every champion since then. Injury. Injury.
Yep.
Injury.
Left the company.
Injury.
Yes. I agree.
At some point, you got to think, maybe these titles are cursed. Because, let's see.
Or magically at Mania, we retire the titles. Bye-bye.
Because Sonya Deville. Injured while holding the title. By the way, congratulations to her on her recent marriage.
Yes.
Charlotte has ended up injured whilst holding those titles.
Hers was only for a day or 2, though.
She was out for like 3 months.
I mean, the reign of her was only
but
like a day.
But still, think about everybody that has held those titles. At some point, everybody has, in some which way or fashion, been injured.
Again, throw it on the kickoff show. Do a 4-way match like they normally do, and call it a day. Be done with it. All right, take us into our next match. You already gave me my grade.
Men's Elimination Chamber match. The right to face Seth freaking Rollins. Actually, speaking of Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes.
Prior to this match, did we get it? The Grayson Waller effect.
Yes, which we forgot to mention on our pre-show.
I mean, it wasn't a match, so that's kind of understandable. That was actually a very entertaining segment. Because, brought out Seth Rollins, brought out Cody Rhodes. They asked Grayson Waller, as much as his character irritates the living piss out of us.
Agreed.
It's still a great character because he is able to do so much with it.
I agree.
He's really good at doing these interviews for the talk show. Not gonna lie. Asked Rollins, who do you want to see come out of the chamber? How would you, where, Mania, what are you looking, who do you want, what are you looking for? Giving him, Those are questions you ask a champion.
I gotta say, I want to point this out real quick. Desario, when we've had this discussion in the past, has said it best. You look at Waller and Theory. They have the same effect as Miz and Morrison. Waller has now become the Miz. He's more of a bigger main event star picture. He's got the talk show, whereas Theory has fallen just like Morrison has, and there's no relevancy there aside from being with their tag partner.
And that's really sad because I remember a time where Morrison was on top of the world prior to Miz.
Mm-hmm.
Like, elevated, like, upper mid-card.
Austin Theory, the same thing.
Okay, but here's my thing, and this is no disrespect to Theory, but slight disrespect to Theory. Think about how he got there. The Vince McMahon protege angle.
Yes.
He was handed those opportunities. Morrison went out and earned those because Morrison had the talent to do so.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Theory is a charisma vacuum. Nobody gives a shit. Grayson Waller is the face of that team, and if they were to split, it'd be very much like Miz and Morrison. When they got split up one year for the draft, back when it was still like, all right, brand versus brand, winner gets the draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. They split up. What did Miz do? He took out Morrison. Shortly after that, Morrison gets released.
Yep.
And there was a time where he acknowledged that. Where Miz acknowledged that. He's like, think about it. I was with John Morrison. I went on, after we split up, to do bigger and better things. He went on to get fired from this company. He's no longer here because he couldn't keep himself relevant. That is, and I'm going to agree with Desario. I'm going to agree with you right now. Theory is going to end up in that position. Why? Because the talent level is not up to par where it should be. He was called up way too early. The charisma isn't there. The personality isn't there. Like, he's a very one-dimensional guy in a four-dimensional business.
Agreed.
Grayson Waller is embracing that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Waller as Cole.
Yeah.
Rollins, all the right questions. Ask Cody, all the right questions. We get revealed. Rollins reveals, hey, I'm about to get cleared.
Yes.
Which makes me happy, so he can go into Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Cody coming out, challenging The Rock one-on-one. Rollins giving him that. It's never one-on-one when it comes to the bloodline. I'll be in your corner.
I'll be your shield.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got your back. We may not always see eye to eye, but this one is mutual enemy. I got your back because that.
Yep.
Theory gets involved, and Theory has a little bit of history with The Rock himself.
Yes. Especially that Rock bomb he got.
He starts quoting The Rock at Cody. Rollins is in the corner just cracking up a storm. Waller's looking at him like, bro, what are you doing? They eventually they have enough of the shit. They jump him. Grayson Waller is the epitome of my mood all the time. Just watching it happen, not helping his friend, just, this ain't got nothing to do with me. You put yourself in this situation.
Agreed.
It was overall a really great segment. But now, back to the original
reason why we are talking
about Seth Rollins in the first place. Who will face him at the Showcase of the Immortals? One of 6 men entering the Elimination Chamber. Randy Orton, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. Why did I forget about that?
Because Bobby Lashley is the only one that's not relevant in this match.
So we get through this match. We actually end up with all 6 men in the ring before we get our first elimination.
Yes.
There's a lot of stories here to tell. Mm-hmm. Also, Randy, be careful with your back. I love the way you sold the back injury. Rollins, take notes.
But at the same time,
please be careful. We want you to be around for as long as humanly possible. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lashley was the first one eliminated.
Yes.
He did. I love that we got 2 pods broken because of him first.
I I'm mad that we didn't get more pods broken, even in the women's match. You had Raquel, you could have broken pods.
I also want to know...
Pods.
So, we saw inside of Logan's... When Logan was getting ready to make his entrance, he was trying not to... He was like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. Owens was like, we're just going to open this, and I'm going to beat your ass inside your own pod. And here we go. I want to know where he got the Sharpie to start drawing on his pod.
He brought it in with him. I did find information on it beforehand with the picture. He drew Kevin Owens and said Owens is stupid.
I thought it said Kevin sucks.
There was another one in the belly.
Okay.
And then it said Kevin sucks in the bold letters next to it. But there was like little scribbles. And if you zoom in, it says Kevin is stupid. And he actually walked in with the marker to draw. He had it in his jacket pocket.
Dude said, I'm gonna entertain myself while I wait my turn.
Yeah, not expecting Kevin to be out before him.
Yeah.
Obviously. Because otherwise, I don't think he would have had an issue going into that match right away.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I didn't think so.
No, it was a great match. Great moments, great storytelling amongst all of the competitors. You had Kevin Owens mock Randy Orton just for Randy to eliminate him. Mm-hmm. Randy then eliminated Logan.
Yes.
He took forever getting out the pod. Your final two are Drew and Randy.
Should have been me. It should have been me.
To quote Kevin Owens, it should have been you. It should have been you. It should have been you like a decade ago. And it kind of was. And then it wasn't. And it will probably never be again. Dude. 17 matches for the world title.
And this...
closing moments. Logan Paul, eliminated second to last.
Yes.
Orton hits an like Drew and Orton going back and forth. Orton hits his RKO. We're thinking, all right, cool. Orton's getting the win. Logan Paul gets up, cracks Orton with the brass knuckles. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. Your winner and a number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, Drew McIntyre. As much as we all knew it was going to happen, that doesn't mean I got to be happy about it.
My literal words in parentheses by his name is, for the love of God, give it to him. Either you waste this opportunity and we go on to have 20 more matches. This is number 18. This is the 18th chance he is having at the World Heavyweight Championship since Seth Rollins has been the one to hold it. That is ridiculous. And as we were talking about before, when it comes to WrestleMania and matches, the reason I mentioned the U.S. title at Triple Threat is because we already know that Kevin and Logan Paul are kind of going back and forth. Now you have a reason to bring Randy into it.
Yeah.
After he just clocked him. Now give us a triple threat.
Orton eliminated both competitors.
He did. Now they have a reason to want him. He has a reason to want Paul. You give us that match at Mania.
I still say Kevin Owens needs to be the one to go over.
I don't say give the win to Randy. Kevin Owens capitalizes on a down and out. Logan Paul after an RKO tosses him out.
Or, hear me out, you still give him the one-on-one match, but this sticking fresh in Randy's mind, Randy costs Logan his title. You cost me a chance at the world title. I'm going to cost you your title.
I mean, that works too.
Like, you ain't even got to be in the match.
Right. It was just kind of, something that went through my head as we were talking about this. Your grade for this match?
B.
Okay.
Just because, again, it was the very predictable...
It was very, very predictable.
Outcome. Again, every man had their chance to shine. It was just...
overly predictable. Alright, going into our main event. Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley defends against Nia Jax. Ripley got sick of the attacks by Jax, obviously previously calling her out. They had this. You have Australia born and raised Rhea Ripley going against birthplace of Nia Jax, Sydney, Australia.
Australia was Rhea country.
And this was the biggest pop anybody got for the night. And I understand it being Rhea Ripley, but no one else got anything from Australia, and it's very saddening. Ripley was mainly dominated throughout the entirety of this match, getting slammed through the announce table, getting an elbow through the announce table. It was only when Rhea would swiftly turn from a turnbuckle, pull Nia off the top rope, that she would even get some sort of momentum. This match went very quick for a women's world championship match.
But you got to see a lot.
But you did get to see a lot. You got to see how much Ripley worked for this, how many times she looked into the crowd to see her family, because she had
mom, her dad, her sister. There's about 13 they said, family members.
13 family members at ringside watching Rhea dominate, or not necessarily dominate, but be this dominating woman in the women's division. So, like I said, she was mainly dominated throughout the match. There's not much to say. There was a moment where Nia almost had the 1-2-3. Rhea did kick out, and Nia was entirely
beside herself.
We go into the closing moments, and Rhea Ripley, off of a, I want to say, avalanche suplex?
A superplex.
A superplex. Ended up hitting Riptide.
We're finally able to hit that Riptide. Like I said,
after going for it 3 other times in the match.
I love that we got to see both women pull out tricks that we don't really ever see from them, because you got to see Rhea go from that dominating factor really more into like the athletic role, instead of the powerhouse role.
Oh yeah, that was very nice to see.
For a while,
splash off the top rope.
I love that Michael Cole also did acknowledge that, like, there's not a lot of women that Rhea can't just straight up have her way with, and there's not a lot of women that could handle Rhea the way that Nia does.
It is amazing what these two women can bring out in each other. Do I ever want to see this match again? No, please, Lord, no. Please, no. Picking up the win, and still women's world champion, who goes on to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, Rhea Bloody Ripley. Before you say anything grade-wise, because I know you're going to give me your reasonings on your grade, I do want to point out something so I don't forget. This Elimination Chamber is the 3rd time, excluding Evolution in 2018, that has had more women's matches than men matches on a pay-per-view. We had 3 women's matches and only 2 men's. So, alongside, women, again, main eventing a pay-per-view.
And this is the first time it's happened since Mania 37, Bianca and Sasha.
And before that, Mania 35. The first ever one to do it, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey. Winner takes all. Now your grade for this one. A? Solid A? No solid. A plus?
Solid A.
Alright, and your overall grade?
B plus. Like I said, overall show, very minor things to, nitpick about. I'm really excited for the build going into these matches and going into the show, because they've done a really good job of such.
Yeah, and definitely will be...
However, for the love of God, if we do not get Drew this damn title, get him out of the title picture.
Get him out of the title picture, sweep him away. At that point, we're done with him. We will definitely be, because we do not have another WWE
show till Mania.
Pay-per-view until Mania. We will definitely be recapping all of the feuds and going more in depth into them as we do for our Mania spots, as we will also have Desario and Hex here joining us for Mania. Anything else you'd like to say, Brother Pyro?
We hope you guys enjoyed the show. For those of you that got to watch it live, I hope y'all got some sleep afterwards, or were really able to capitalize on sleep beforehand. We will see y'all next weekend for AEW's Revolution. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.
And
we are out.
Laters.